This is literally Mark Zuckerberg right now. If you're one of the lucky people who actually doesn't use social media every hour of the day, then you may not know that Facebook went down yesterday for like 8 hours, which apparently was the longest stretch of time that Facebook has been down since 2008. So literally over a decade ago. That's pretty crazy if you think about it, especially with how many businesses rely on Facebook for their advertising. So today I want to share with you kind of what happened and also give you some of my thoughts on what to do to prevent things like this from affecting you and your business in the future. So these are things that I'm kind of writing down for myself, but this is basically what Facebook's vice president said about this. He said, "To all the people and businesses around the world who depend on us, we are sorry for the inconvenience caused by today's outage across our platforms." That was his whole response. And I'm sure everybody at Facebook is freaking out right now. Their shares closed yesterday 5% down. Today they're back up. So I guess maybe if you're a big Facebook investor, that was a good time to buy the dip. But man, that is really crazy. It wasn't just Facebook that went down. It was also WhatsApp and Instagram. So basically the whole Facebook ecosystem. Now, of course, most of us here run e-commerce brands, and I wouldn't be too surprised to know that everybody that watches this channel's sales were down yesterday, except for the people that use TikTok and Google and stuff like that don't depend on Facebook and Instagram at all. Unfortunately, that's not my case. I do depend on Instagram and Facebook for traffic. So yesterday was pretty scary. So here's a summary of what happened. So the outage prevented users from refreshing their feeds or sending messages, and it was caused by a configuration change on the backbone routers. And they're not really being too specific about what happened. I mean, that kind of makes sense, I guess. They don't want other people to potentially harm them again. Like literally Facebook lost like millions of dollars per minute that they were down. So pretty insane. So the changes caused issues that interrupted the flow of traffic between routers and Facebook's data centers around the world, he added. The disruption to network traffic had a cascading effect on the way our data centers communicate, bringing our services to a halt. So Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp stopped working shortly before noon when the website and apps Facebook services were responding with server errors. You know, it's actually crazy because I saw that Jack Dorsey replied to a tweet that someone made. I'll throw it up right here, where it showed that Facebook.com was available on GoDaddy. It was for sale. I was very surprised to see that, and I honestly thought it was over for Facebook for a bit. So just after 7 p.m., around 6 hours after the platform went offline, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg wrote on his Facebook page, "Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger are coming back online now." He added, "Sorry for the disruption today. I know how much you rely on our services to stay connected with the people you care about." The outage marked the longest stretch of downtime for Facebook since 2008, like I mentioned, when a bug knocked the site offline for about a day, affecting about 80 million users. At the time, that's how many users they had. But the platform now currently has around 3 billion users. So literally like 40 times the amount of users. In 2019, a similar outage lasted about an hour, and Facebook blamed a server configuration change for that incident. So clearly they never really want to say what happened, but it's pretty obvious that they got hacked, most likely for data. So I also saw somewhere that like 1.5 billion users' data was stolen, which is actually pretty crazy and quite scary. But the outage came one day after the whistleblower who leaked private internal research to both the Wall Street Journal and Congress revealed herself ahead of an interview with the CBS program 60 Minutes. The documents, first reported in a series of journal stories, revealed that the company's executives understood the negative impacts of Instagram among younger users and that Facebook's algorithm enabled the spread of misinformation, among other things. Lastly, they mentioned how Facebook shares closed down almost 5% yesterday, but now they're back up. So man, this whole whistleblower story is actually kind of insane, and maybe as we get more information I'll cover more on that. But now I want to touch on what this means for businesses, e-commerce businesses in particular, since that's what we run here. And to me, really, this just proves something that I've been thinking about all year, and I've actually shared this with you guys many times. But I think building a community is becoming increasingly critical for brands. Like if you're not building a community, it's gonna be tough to succeed in the long term because of things like this. I don't think Facebook or Instagram is going anywhere anytime soon. So this isn't some sort of call to like get away from Facebook. I'm still gonna use Facebook for advertising my businesses, but I will say that this does give me an extra push to start posting more on TikTok, testing more TikTok ads, and things along those lines. It really sucks to have your business depend on Facebook so much. And those are really easy, actionable things that you can do that will help your business a lot anyways. So again, this is a great opportunity in my opinion to start doing those things. Start getting on TikTok, start building your email list. For both of my brands, I work with my friend Jonathan's agency, and we're seeing over 20% of our total revenue coming from email now, which is amazing. We don't rely on Facebook at all for that piece of revenue. And if you want to work with him, by the way, I have a link in the description. You can book a call with him for free. So there's really no risk. And yeah, he has probably the best agency that I've ever worked with. So I don't mind endorsing it. But I want to ask you guys, what do you think of this? What do you think this means for the future of advertising, for the future of Facebook? Do you see Facebook continuing to succeed at this level in the long term? Or do you think other platforms are going to start taking over and maybe becoming the top dogs in the advertising game? I would love to know your opinion. And that's it. See you in my next video. Peace.